welcome. In today's true crime reading, I'm back on the Idaho 4 case. During the last reading that I did, I asked what's going to be new for both defense and prosecution. And for the defense, the cards wanted to talk about DNA. Now that is new. It's what has recently been released is that the new information has been unsealed, or new evidence unsealed, around the DNA that they've collected from underneath victim Maddie's fingernails. 3 different types of DNA, and it is inconclusive whether or not that is Bryan Kohberger's DNA. So that is the question I'm going to ask today. Is that Bryan Kohberger's DNA under Maddie's fingernails? I'm also going to ask the cards, what else is new? What else is coming in this trial? It is heating up with this trial because it's getting closer. So we will be receiving more information. So I'm going to ask the cards what's next, what's coming, what else they'd like to talk about in this case. And I'm going to take a look at maybe even ask if the DNA is the same as that found the other 3 types of DNA they found on the crime scene. Does that correspond to the DNA found under Maddie's fingernails? So let's get into this reading. As always, I'll let the cards speak first before I start asking questions. Welcome back. So just tapping into the cards first of all, making sure that I'm on the right case with the cards, that they are reading what we're talking about today. Now first of all I had to get away, so maybe this was the fight, the struggle around DNA under Maddie's fingernails. So it is said that it could have been from any number of things, could have been a result of DNA under the fingernails, but this card here is indicating that it was her trying to get away. It was a struggle, and that's why the DNA is under the fingernails. Here we are seeing next to that the ringmaster or the organizer. So this again talks about the ring involved here, which I've said on many occasions with this case. It seems to come out a lot. Now, unaware of surroundings. So now that could be indicating that she may have been not in familiar surroundings. Perhaps when she tried to get away, she may have been in unfamiliar surroundings when she was trying to get away. Here, the cards always want to talk about the couple, the lovers or the couple. Now, it could be that, and as I've said many times, lovers could indicate a relationship around Maddie, or it could be coming back into Ethan and Xana, and I say that every time because these 2 cards always out with this case. Confrontation. This is the strength card. Confrontation. So we're talking about a confrontation to do with the lovers. Now let me just clarify that for you while we have it on the table. Are we actually talking about Maddie, or are we talking about Xana and Ethan? Because we could be talking about a confrontation with a lover or ex-lover of Maddie, confrontation with lovers, but every time it comes out, I always think we're talking about Ethan and Xana. So let's clarify that today with this reading. Okay, we do have stage set up and framed. Just jumped out before I got to pose the question to the cards. So posing the question now, the lovers card and the confrontation. Are we talking about Maddie? And there was also an accomplice involved. Stage, framed, set up. Are the people involved an accomplice with that stage, framed, or set up? Okay, so let's have a look. And that's also 2 females there too on this card. Crime of opportunity. Let's ask it in the reverse. Is this lovers and confrontation around the lovers? Are we talking about Ethan and Xana? Because remember, I didn't ask a question for this layout. It was just what the cards wanted to talk about. Is the cards that you want to talk about today the confrontation around the lovers? Are we talking about Ethan and Xana? They were very resilient. It was a long process, so that part of it went on for a long time. I know that doesn't make sense with what they're saying around for times, but as I've received on other readings, times differ, so they always tell us to check the timing. Two crimes connected. As always, we get this card quite often in this case, so it does relate to another crime that was going on, which resulted in the crimes relating to the loss of life between Ethan and Xana. I think they're just recapping what they normally say, just to make sure that I am on the correct case. Okay, crime of opportunity. I'm just popping back in to neaten up. Running out of time on the table, just popping that back in as well. Okay, so I'm feeling, yes, that is Ethan and Xana they're talking about. The cards were speaking more fluently when I was asking Ethan and Xana. Okay, how would I ask if it's related to somebody connected to Maddie? A relationship, maybe some kind of relationship around Maddie. Okay, digital footprint, somebody texting. We've also got the jealous cheating card texting as well. And then we've got a ring sitting above that. This is Maddie's energy here. We'll just recap on what they're talking about. DNA was from trying to get away around a risky situation. This is the Fill card talking about risk taking. So sitting on top of each other, a risky situation, trying to get away from it or trying to get out of it. So there's a ring, trying to get away from the situation or out of something here with the ring. This is Maddie's energy here. There was somebody here that was not known to her. It says somewhat a stranger unknown to me, relating to tied or restrained. So someone involved here she did not know. We've got the digital footprint, as I said, texting somebody. Here we have unaware of surroundings, so perhaps when this was taking place there was something to do with a place she was not familiar with. Authority involved here, something to do with authority. That means somebody in charge. It could mean LE, something around authority involved in this case. I've already gone through this one over here, and I've gone through staged and set up and framed over on this side around had help. Some part of this stage set up and framed had help. So this I feel, and I've said this in other readings, I feel this is to lure them in, maybe to get them into where they needed to be. It could have been just prior to the event happening, so the actual crime happening. So I'm definitely reading the correct one. That energy is everything that I have said previously. There's no new information there apart from the I had to get away. She was trying to get away from a situation. Everything else comes out every time I do this case. Let's get on to the questions. Now the DNA results came back for the DNA found under Maddie's fingernails. It says inconclusive for Bryan Kohberger. Cards, please tell me, was Bryan Kohberger's DNA anywhere on Maddie's body? Not involved. That's the card you just saw flip, so that's the answer right there, not involved. Now just down the bottom here in the corner, they've flipped out together down the bottom. World card means the end of the situation, so this is after death, and something involved a father figure or a person in charge. These ones I'll just let you know what they are, but the actual answer here is not involved there. That any DNA on the body of Maddie, not involved. So that, to me, I feel is a no answer for whether or not Bryan's DNA is somewhere on Maddie's body. Now, it is unusual circumstances here with this DNA that the defense doesn't want to allow this evidence to go to the jury. So there's something going on, some reason why they don't want this evidence given to the jury, as it may be unfavorable to their case. So there's still something wrong here with this situation, even though the cards are saying not involved. What else do we have? We've got marks left behind. Something was seen. Rumours behind your back. So rumours and distraction, not as it seems. So distraction, not as it seems. So they fell out in a clump. So I kind of disregard them a little bit unless they come out again. Why doesn't the defence want this information going to the jury? Why? A really strong card. How does that connect to Bryan Kohberger's defence? That was a light fall. Person of interest. That says accident. Okay, death card just slipped out. Okay, I feel like I'm not being clear enough with this question. Bryan Kohberger's defence admit that as evidence for the jury. The new DNA under Maddie's fingernails. Will they admit that as evidence? I don't think it's even possible to check timing around when DNA was under the fingernail. So I don't know if that's possible. But something around the timing of when that DNA was under the fingernail. So this is where I'm feeling like it's way before 4 a.m, like a long time before. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It's like way before DNA under the fingernail. Okay, let's elaborate. Putting the death card and the accident card back in. I'm going to take person of interest and timing back in. Please elaborate on what you're trying to say with inside job taken out. Crime of opportunity again. Being the right opportunity, a moment of opportunity, taking their opportunity to get her in the right place at the right time. One of these times, that's the world card, being the after death taken out. After death taken out. Okay, I'm just going to ask, was Bryan Kohberger involved in the cleanup of evidence after the event occurred? A struggle. There was 2 crimes involved here. That is a crime itself. That is a evidence tampering is a crime. So that would be a second crime. Okay, evidence. So we are talking about evidence being cleaned up, and here it's saying there was strategy and planning involved in that part of it, removing certain evidence or DNA from the crime scene. Now here it's saying payback, so it's like perhaps he owed somebody in some way. Payback. Okay. I'm feeling like I'm going off track here for a second, so let me pull back into the energy of it. A cleanup at all? Was there a cleanup of evidence? Because we've got the evidence card on the table, and two crimes being the tampering of evidence is a crime. So was there a cleanup in that DNA was removed? Organised. Death organised. Mask not two-faced. That's the chaos around the death. A mother figure or a female figure somehow connected here. Organised, death, chaos and tower. Mask being not true face, somebody's not showing a true face and somehow connected to a female or a mother figure. Okay, inclusive. So inconclusive, what do you want to tell me about the results being inconclusive for DNA, Bryan Kohberger's DNA? Drugs, alcohol, or blood? The blood. Okay, inconclusive. An aggressive attack. Blood. Okay, blood on the railing. Blood on the railing. Please give me more information. That was accident. Didn't mean to get blood on the railing. Probably didn't see it. That's my Bryan Kohberger card. Please, somebody commented that he's not a stalker. I've never said he is a stalker, but I always feel this is a card that represents him. So it's not because he's a stalker, it's just something about the image that reminds me of him. So we are talking about Bryan Kohberger. We've got accident on the table. I'm talking about the blood on the railing. How are we talking about Bryan Kohberger? Where's the connection? Accomplice, had help. Okay, so in answer to the question previously about why it doesn't want to be released, why the defense team doesn't want it to go to the jury, there's a connection here. So whether that's the inside job taken out, there is some connection here. So by not putting in this evidence, maybe evidence could be the blood on the railing evidence, because that's popped up in the cards that was accidentally there or left there. Maybe they don't have to admit that evidence. So maybe it's not about this unsealing. Maybe it's about another unsealing. So maybe it's something to do with that. If we don't let this one go to trial, then we don't have to let that one go to trial. That's kind of what I'm picking up around that. It's not so much about the one that was just unsealed. It feels like it's more about another one they don't want to release. Okay, information, and that's the justice system. That's how getting that balance within the trial. So let's talk maybe a deal, because that flipped out and I dropped it, and maybe that's a handshake deal around this not going to the jury and another part's not going to the jury. Okay, am I on the right track with this? The lovers or the relationship? Back to Ethan and Xana. And we're going back to the initial case again with the ringmaster. And the confrontation. So we're coming back out with all of the normal players in this card. Okay, so and the digital footprint, the texting. Texting, lovers, the confrontation, organise something. Ringmaster, organise something. Okay. Digital footprint would be someone they were texting. Confrontation, there was a fight going on. Ringmaster, something organised. And the lovers. Now the lovers I've always thought of when I see that as Ethan and Xana, but I feel like in this case I'm talking about Maddie. It's not Ethan and Xana right here. Okay, so the cards are talking on their own now without my input. So let's give the cards another go. What do they want to talk about? What else is coming up? Okay, can you tell me something about the new thing that's coming out, or what they don't want to go to jury? What else? What was the deal, the legal system jury that they also don't want to go to? Trying to get something out of the picture. That's what they're doing, trying to get something out of the picture. They don't want it in the trial. They don't want it in the story. What is that? Okay, the stranger unknown. So that's the unknown DNA. The people, there you go. So it's the other people that's under the fingernails, also on the knife sheath. The other 3 DNA that was there, that is unknown. That's what they want out of the picture. And something around the vehicle, the chariot. So the vehicle, I've always said there was something, I had a dream about the vehicle and being transported, and the person driving, or something around the person driving the vehicle, knew what was coming. Maybe there was a confrontation there. I'm just saying it's not on the cards, but I'm just trying to see why that's significant. But here it's saying the unknown DNA, they're trying to get that out of the picture altogether. So it's not about whether it's interesting for defense, though. It's interesting that defense doesn't want it to go to jury. How are the unknown DNAs connected to defense? After death. So the end of the situation after death. It's not the death card, it's the end. It can be burial, it can be end of the situation, so after death, or is it related to the conflict or the fight? This is the energy of the devil, which is that very rage person, that torture, rage. Now I've always got the energy of somebody that was very psychopath energy, like really beyond narcissist, really rage energy, that get enjoyment out of rage. That person, is it their DNA? Is it their DNA? There we go. Big. See that big jump then, how it just jumped out? Their DNA. Or the tower and the chaos. Now either this is going to be trying to prevent the tower from falling, or it's around the chaos, all the chaos involved. Now I do feel, now I'm going to ask the person's vibes that I'm picking up on during all of these readings, that is very chaotic and narcissist, beyond narcissistic. It's very very extreme energy. Is that Bryan Kohberger? Lightfall, payback, social media. That's just. No. Okay, once again they're telling me the tower, this is hidden information. This information's hidden knowledge. So they're not giving me the information at the moment. The way the cards just fell then, they all just fell out in a big clump. Okay, but what they do want to say is again, the chaos, all the chaos that was going on prior to 4 a.m. There was a lot of chaos and turmoil that was going on. There is evidence or marks left behind. Doesn't say evidence, it says marks left behind. Marks left behind around that. Somebody was, it was a violent situation. Oh no, sorry, wanted out. That looks like my DV card. Trying to get out of a situation. As I said at the beginning of the spreads, trying to get away from the situation, trying to get out of something. Here, they were traded or hostage, or trying to get out of this kind of situation, trade or hostage situation. Put in a room or a place. Put in a room or a place. This is all prior to 4 a.m. This is around me asking the questions around that person. Just over to the side was the Hermit and the Hangman. So just the Hermit and the Hangman. The Hermit and the Hangman. Okay. Left alone for a period of time or a sacrifice. Okay, so I feel I've answered all the questions that I came in to ask. The cards have given us more as well. What is the next piece of information that's coming up? What is the next thing that you want to talk about that's going to be released in this case? Okay, this energy feels like distraction. The two hands, like I said, so it's not about just this information that's just recently been released. There's other information as well, and it's like if we show one, we have to show the other, or we'll show one but not the other. That's what this energy is showing. This card here is showing hands open. This is the evidence we've got in one hand. This is evidence in the other hand. We're either wanting to show one but not the other, or if we don't show one, we don't have to show the other. But it is a distraction. Part of the trial, because the trial that's how law works. Like guilty. What do you want to talk about with the guilty card? Okay, so it's not clear. The guilt is not clear. Cannot see clearly. Not clear. Okay. What do you want to talk about with guilty card? Again, masked, not true face. Somebody trying to get out of something. Trying to get out of guilt. Okay, let's come back to Bryan Kohberger's energy here. What do the cards want to say? Again, we've got phone, something on a phone, something being viewed on a phone, texting on a phone. So something going on with the phones here. Something to do with drugs, money, a well-funded drug operation. Because we've got drugs, we've got money. So well-funded drug operation. Over here, we've got a family connection. Now, family can also mean fraternity or group of people, group of friendships, group or a ring, because we've got the ring card here. So it could be some kind of drug ring here, or we could be actually talking about family members. But behind closed doors. Magician is dark rituals. Very, very dark things taking place. Okay, so what I just did is picked up the deck to shuffle, and the card that was sitting underneath the deck that didn't pick up was the yes card. Maybe just validating that information. Okay, final pull. Whatever the cards want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about when it comes to the Idaho 4 case. Okay, again, we're talking about that rage person, narcissist person. We're talking about somebody either tied or restrained, a hostage situation or a trade of some sort, around the house. Okay, person's repeat offender, purposely disappeared or brought in on purpose. Here we've got, this is my case that represents Bryan Kohberger. Unfamiliar surroundings, so in surroundings not familiar. Marks left behind and the chaos in the tower. So this, I feel there's a lot of relevant questions that the cards want to talk about as the final. Somebody very angry. This is a very angry person related to a hostage or a trade situation. So, okay, very, very angry. So were the victims traded? Were hostage or trade? Very angry person. This is the abuser. This is the person doing the crime. Was there an opportunity for trade? One person for another, or trade money for the person? Or were they just restrained? This is around the house, but something, a repeat offender, somebody that has done this before. Okay. Thank you. There was a lot there, so thank you so much for watching.